Hello everyone. We were in the previous topic we were discussing about why you should learn to write the programs and what is the computer architecture, hardware architecture. So the next topic is understanding programming. Like to become a programmer, what is the important skills required for a programmer? Okay, so we have the two important skill to become a programmer. One is the first thing is you should know the programming language. That is we were doing the Python programming language here. So you should know the Python programming language. Okay, so here you should know the vocabulary and the grammar. That is the syntax and the semantics. What is required for this Python programming language? So everything should be known by any programmer. Okay, so what you should do here is you should be able to spell the words in the Python programming language properly and know how to construct the well formed sentences in this new language. Okay, so that is the first skill required for programmer. The second thing is you should tell a story, or you need to tell a story. That is, in writing a story you will combine the words and sentences to convey an idea to the reader. Okay, so for example we want to add two numbers. Okay, so you should have the logic, or the you should give instructions in such a way that the machine should understand. Okay, so you will be giving the instruction in the way you understand, and it will be converted to those machine level language, and then it is going to give the output. Okay, so if you want to perform some task, then you should know what is that particular task and how you are going to represent in that particular programming language. So that is how you build a story here. Okay, so we can say there is a skill and art in constructing the story, and skill in the story writing is improved by doing some writing and getting some feedback. Okay, so in programming, our program is is the story and the problem you are trying to solve the idea. Okay, so that is the two important skills required for any that is the two important skills required for any programmer. So the next one is words and sentences. So what is this words and the sentences? So these words and the sentences are the way in which we write the lines of the code in which the programming language can be written, which is understandable by the computer. Okay, so we say we have in the similar way we write a paragraph, we'll be having a word set of the words, and then we frame it to a sentences. In the similar way, you should know the syntaxes and the keywords which is used in the Python programming language, and how you frame the lines or the set of the statements. So that is called the words and the sentences. So we say, unlike human languages, the Python vocabulary is actually very small, and we call this vocabulary as the reserved words. So make sure you know all the reserved words which is used in the Python programming language. Okay, so these words will have very special meaning to Python. When Python sees these words in the Python program, they have one and only one meaning to the Python. Okay, so later when you write the programs, you will make up your own words that have meaning to you call them as a variable. That is, you have a own user defined variable, that is, user can define them as a variable. That makes sure the reserved words cannot be used as the variables. Okay, so we will have a great latitude in choosing names for the variables, but you cannot use any of the Python's reserved words as the variable. So this is very important. So for example, say why we have to write in the way the programming language should be written. Okay, for example, say you have a dog and you will be training the dogs, and we give some instructions, or we use the special words like dog to sit. If I say dog to sit, it must sit. Okay, and if you say to stay, the dog should stay, and fetch means it should fetch. So when you talk to a dog and you don't use the reserved words, so these are the reserved words: sit, stay, and fetch. Okay, so what happens? They just look at you with a quizzical look on their face until you say a reserved word. Okay, so the dogs thinks that you are saying some words blah 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 blah. So that is they don't understand their particular language. So that is why we say you have to write the programming language which is given as a set of the instructions or the rules. In the same way you have to write, then only it can understand. Okay, so that is why we say, unlike a dog, a Python is already completely trained. So when you say try, Python will try every time you say it without fail. Okay, so that is the meaning of exactly what we use the words and the sentences in the Python. Okay, so when it comes to reserved words, what are the reserved words we use in the Python programming language? So we have the number of the reserved words in the Python programming language. So these reserveds are and, as, assert, back, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, else, except, finally, for, from, and global, if, import, in, is, lambda, non-local, not, or, pass, raise, return, try, while, with, and ill. So these are the set of the reserved words which is used in the Python programming language. Okay, so now how you write the sentence. For example, say we have a sentence here, we write in the Python programming language. So this is the first sentence, we write print hello world. So what is it going to do? So it just the job of the Python compiler is it should give you the output hello world. Okay, so that is print is the instruction what you are giving, and according to that instruction it should give you the output. Okay, so here we have written our first syntactically correct Python sentence. Our sentence starts with the function print followed by a string of the text choosing enclosed within the single quotes, or it can be enclosed within the single quotes or the double quotes. Okay, so the string and the print statements are enclosed in the quotes. Single quotes and the double quotes do the same thing. Okay, most people use the single quotes except in cases like the way the single quote which is also an apostrophe appears in the string. Okay, so that is how we write the Python, what are the reserved words we use in the Python programming language. So the next topic is conversing in Python. How do you interact with the Python, or how do you converse with the Python? Okay, so now we have a word and the simple sentence, and we know in that it is known in the Python. So we need to know how to start a conversion with the Python to test our new new programming language skills. Okay, so before you start converse with the Python, you must first install the Python software. There should be a necessary means for writing the program. So when you are writing the Python program, obviously you need a Python program on your computer, and learn how to start the Python on your computer. Okay, at some point you will be in the terminal or at the command window, and you will type the Python, and Python interpreter will start executing in the interactive mode and appears somewhat as follows. So when you install the software and try to execute the Python, what does it do? Python, it shows the what is the version of the Python you have installed, and some set of other information, date, and everything is will be displayed. And this is the chevron prompt. It is asking for the user what should me to do next. Okay, fine. So I've shown that is this is called three angle braces can be called as the chevron prompt in the Python. It is interpreter's way of asking you what do you want me to do next, or what should I want to do for you. Okay, so the Python will be ready to have a conversation with you. Okay, all you have to know is how to pick the Python languaging. So let us say one example. You did not know the even simplest Python programming language with words or the sentences, and you want to use the standard line that the astronauts use when the astronauts use some lines, a set of the standard language when they land on a faraway planet and try to speak with the inhabitants of the planet. You are trying to speak some other language which inhabitants doesn't understand. Okay, for example, say you are just simply writing you are trying to, as a astronaut, I am speaking to inhabitant, that is I am speaking, I come in peace, please take me to your leader. So what does it do? And obviously this is an error, and what inhabitant do, this is someone other than the inhabitant, he does not belong to our species, so they do something unnecessary things to the astronaut. Okay, so if you try to do this one, it shows invalid syntax, that is it is not a Python programming language, or you have not used the words and the sentences which is written in the Python programming language. Okay, so now the correct way of writing is, for example, say print hello world. You want to print the hello world, this is the correct way. You write the function, and what should be printed? Hello world, you can see. So this is looking much better, so you try to communicate some more. Okay, so in the same way you can write, you must be a legendary god that comes from the sky, so this is going to be output. So this is what we can do it. And for example, say you are doing some errors like print away, and you don't use the brackets here, we will have a feast tonight unless you say it. What does it do? what is it is showing? Missing parenthesis. Okay, so Python have a capability of showing some kinds of the errors, so what user is going to do. So this is how you make a conversation with the Python. So we should also know how to say goodbye to the Python programming language. So the syntax for saying goodbye is quit. So when you write this quit, and it is going to